In what may be the hottest year in history, scientists have recorded radical changes to the permafrost in Antarctica.
The Pandora virus, a so-called giant virus with the largest genome size ever recorded.
The crabs also display increased aggression, even towards larger predators.
A striking new weather anomaly has claimed many coastlines around the world. NASA is examining these clouds to figure out...
We've detected large amounts of an organic composite. So far, the sample doesn't match any of the DNA records we've compared it with.
We all saw it. Those creatures coming out of the sea on that oil rig.
The president has declared a national emergency.
It's obvious that what we're dealing with here is a biological weapon. As of today, we are at war.
It's taking their minds. I saw them walk right into the sea. Thousands of people. Thousands.
The mist is gone, but the city is dead. The roads are broken. You must join one of the havens. Do not attempt to survive on your own.
So I think that sums up the tone of Phoenix Point pretty well in that intro cutscene. Plays a lot like XCOM, but has a lot of its own quirks and a bit more of a Lovecraftian twist. And now I need to check keybinds because unfortunately the controller support, at least for the PC version of this game, is not very good. It has a lot of problems. I did a test run on this yesterday, and I've played it a little bit before, near when it first came out, before it got a lot of the DLC. And, you know, decided it needed a bit longer in the oven, so hopefully patches and DLC would fix it. I can definitely say for the controller support, they didn't. It's still got issues. So I will be playing this on keyboard mouse, which is not my preferred way of handling games, but yeah, I'll manage, but I need to set up some keybinds, so back with you all in a moment. Alright, I'm turning the promotional skins off because, and I'm hoping I'm right about this, when I did a short trial run of this yesterday, just to refamiliarize myself with how this game works, I noticed that I had a lot of extra armor and weapons in the inventory. Most of it was just, you know, reskins of Phoenix Point stuff, although it still is more equipment than you should have at the start. But some of it was also like other factions equipment that you really shouldn't have at the start. So yeah, some of it you would scrap and it wouldn't give you anything, you could just get rid of it, but some of it you would scrap and it would give you a good chunk of materials that you also shouldn't have at the start. So it felt like I'd activated some kind of cheat chest or something, is what it felt like. So I'm really hoping that just the promotional skins is all I have to turn off and that I don't need to come back and turn off all of these. If I notice a bunch of crap in the inventory at the beginning, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go briefly look at the DLC page and just see if any of these need to just be turned off because they're cheat packs. Which is irritating. I hate it when DLC does that. Okay, from what I was reading, though, these actually add, like, missions and whatnot, and while there were some mixed opinions on how worth it they are, at least it's adding stuff that I have to actually go and get. So hopefully this all adds at least a little bit of gameplay and doesn't just load up my inventory with a bunch of random crap where I'm wondering why we started with this stuff. Because it really threw off the balance for the early game, I think. Even just having a bunch of extra sets of Phoenix armor, the normal stuff you start with, means that's a lot of extra stuff that you don't have to try to manufacture, and, you know, that throws things off. So hoping that I have that set correctly and that I don't need to just disable anything. And we will not be playing the prologue and tutorial. Doesn't really tutorialize anything that you wouldn't already know from XCOM or be able to figure out really quickly. And the story bits just kind of don't matter once you get to the main plot. It's just following a couple of your initial soldiers finding the Phoenix base. And you can't even customize those soldiers. And I know some of you guys wanted to be customized in, so hopefully if I just skip that, it means that I get more soldiers at the start who are customizable.
The Phoenix Project was founded on October 24th, 1945. The Second War to end all wars was over, but there were those who understood that we could no longer afford to think in terms of nations and empires. For a time, the Phoenix Project successfully navigated the political conflicts of its era. That was our golden age. Phoenix Project operatives scoured the world for clues. We had bases in 24 countries. Even the heavens were not off limits. But out there, on the far side of the moon, began our downfall. The failure of the Phoenix 2 mission exposed us to our enemies in the UN. Stripped of resources and scattered to the winds, we were reduced to a secret, a memory. When the Pandora virus woke up, we should have been the first line of defense. When huge clouds of mist appeared over the sea, when people started vanishing, we should have figured out what was going on. And when those people started coming back, changed, hostile, alien, we should have been ready to fight, but we failed. The ecosystem started to change, imperceptibly at first, then faster and faster. 3 factions arose. New Jericho, trying to restore order and purity. Sanhedrin, hoping to build a world without hierarchies. And the disciples of Anu, a new syncretic religion dedicated to adaptation and biological change. At war with the world and at odds with each other, these factions cannot find a way forward. Now the mist is returning and armies are rising from the sea. Without the Phoenix Project, humanity will fall. It's time to rise from the ashes.
Okay. So let's see. Step 1, did we get decent starting soldiers? Additional +2 to willpower and 10 perception range. That's pretty solid, especially considering heavies kind of struggle with that perception, just innately. They seem to have lower than most other classes. Bombardier gain mounted weapon proficiency with extra range and damage. Haven't run into mounted weapons yet, but I'll keep that in mind. And Biochemist. All attacks that inflict damage also inflict 1 viral damage, which viral damage attacks their willpower, which means they can't use abilities. It means they panic more. That's all pretty solid. Got a good heavy. Close quarters specialist. Now you already have shotgun proficiency from assault training, but this would give you more accuracy with the shotgun, and you also get melee weapon proficiency with more damage. Gain personal defense weapons and handgun proficiency with plus 10% damage, plus 10% accuracy, and plus 10 tiles hearing range. I don't know how useful that'll be for an assault. I don't usually have them using handguns, but actually, I mean, if their arm gets disabled, then they can't use two-handed weapons. So actually having the sidearm and being good with it could still be useful, even if you don't use it that much. Resourceful, plus 25% bonus carry weight and plus 2 strength. Okay, those are solid. Those are solid. Now let's see. Also resourceful. We've already explained that that's good. Cautious. 20% bonus accuracy, but minus 10% damage dealt. I can get behind that for a rifleman. I'd rather you hit. And Biochemist, which is really good with assault rifles because obviously more bullets equals more viral damage because of how that works. 1 viral damage per bullet. So you're solid. Sniper. Close quarters specialist on a sniper, although you could argue that would give them a lot of flexibility because they could be, instead of sniper rifle handgun, they could be doing sniper rifle shotgun or sniper rifle handgun and shotgun, just depending. Healer's good, and self-defense specialist, you're gonna actually be using handguns. That could be good for you. Okay, we have 3 good people, one of whom is named Obama for some reason. almost want to keep that, but I kind of assume that, like, I want one of the custom people to be one of each class, and unfortunately that's the only sniper. But I kind of want to keep it. Okay. We'll see. But seriously, of all random names to roll, that... Alright, game. And let's see, if we go and we look at the gear that we have... Yay! Disabling the skin pack was the only thing I needed to frickin' turn off, I think. Because I'm not seeing a bunch of crap here that we shouldn't have. I'm not kidding. It was like 5 different armor sets at least, plus some weapons. This is what you're supposed to have. Basically just enough to equip your soldiers, and that's about it. So yeah, it makes a big difference to the early game, having all of that extra crap. And it's like, why didn't you just make it? It says skins on the menu, promotional skins. To me, that means cosmetic. Does not affect gameplay. That affects gameplay. I figured it would just be extra options in the customized menu or something. Speaking of, who do we have for our starting soldiers as I look at my list? Well, we have Glacier, and he's the only one that actually specifically wanted to be a heavy. So you get the heavy, Glacier. Wanted a male heavy. I'm pretty sure that is a dude. Or no, just all the armor. Well, swapping that over. Not going to be able to tell much difference, but lots of armor. You didn't specify any other, like, customization options, so I assume that you just want to see your helmet all the time. And colors were dark blue and light blue. Or that's hair color, my apologies. Although maybe you want that to be blue as well, and even though you won't see it, there it is. Dark blue. And where do we have a nice bright blue? Hopefully we have one. There. So we could either go like that, or we could swap it. I think that looks better, personally. I think the brighter color shows off that pattern better. So if anyone wants any changes to the customization after they see their soldier, like, by all means put it in. It's just probably going to be a few episodes before I see the comment and change it. So apologies for any time lag there. Just making sure that I got everything. Yep, okay. So, let's see. Who do we have? I want to check abilities and stuff, because I kind of want to make sure you guys get the 3, like, best ones. Although, honestly, all these guys ended up being pretty good. I feel like lazy would be a good name for a sniper. So, you know, snipers tend to just sit in the back and not move too much. And your only color things were purple and red. And again, maybe you do want your hair to be purple. Let's see if there's a purple or a red. It can be purple. Why not? You're mostly going to be seeing your helmet, though, so let's get the armor sorted. That looks kind of pinkish. Maybe that should be the red. Yeah, it's definitely coming through as red when I do that. Let's see if the other... Yeah, I think that comes through a little better, especially on the gun, as being purple. I think that's the only purple we have, unfortunately, is that kind of reddish purple. So yeah, there you go. Lazy is in. Anyone to be a male soldier, and yep, there it is. I'm gonna double check everybody's details, but let's just try to get last person in. It will be one of the 2 assaults. Let's see. Close quarters and self-defense. So a lot of weapon flexibility. Or more accurate and biochemist. So remember that you also get shotguns anyway, and yeah, I like having biochemist later on a bit better, even though it's going to be towards the like a higher level. So customize, and you wanted a female soldier. Well, that worked out. And let's see. I believe it was bright blue, dark blue combo, but let me just double check that. It's just dark blue combo on that one. Yep, okay. Double checking. So let's just see what actually shows up better. Yeah, I think again, like the dark blue is actually working a bit better as the secondary, because then the brighter blue actually shows like armor patterns, which the dark blue doesn't really. And you didn't say anything about the hair. So that can just also be blue. Why not? We're somehow finding hair dye in the post-apocalypse. However, you're mostly going to be seeing that. And, of course, the name. Westfall. And then we'll have one person who just has a random name until someone else volunteers to be on the campaign. But until then, since they're a nobody, they will be getting used as a meat shield if the circumstances call for a meat shield. Alright, so let's back out of that. Now that we have our custom soldiers. Let's see. Should probably carry an extra ammo clip. If we go on a scavenging mission, I'll have them drop the extra ammo. And medkit. They'll carry the medkit regardless, but if they go on a scavenging mission, I'll have them drop the extra ammo, because then you just need all the room in your inventory you can get. But for now, they will carry that. Glacier. Carry a medkit, a grenade, and 1 ammo, which already takes you almost to being encumbered, because heavy weapons and armor, they're called heavy for a reason. We'll come back to you. Westfall. Get 1 extra clip and a medkit. There you go. And you will be getting the same thing. Oh, you go there. Yep. Air Force tab. So when the Festering Skies DLC is actually getting ready to start, we'll get a quest to have this plane basically exchanged for one that has some starting weapons. For now, doesn't need them. There are no air-to-air enemies just yet. Atmospheric analysis, so we can start seeing where mist is breaking out. That's important. And I don't think we need to manufacture anything just yet, but this is where we will come to manufacture things like ammo. Ammo medkits are instant. Grenades are pretty quick at only 4 hours. Anything else is going to take us a little bit to make more of. So if we have more soldiers we need to equip, we're going to have to make more weapons. And that's like a big part of the early game, and that's why I didn't want those skins active, because then we'd be starting with like 2 or 3 extra sniper rifles and like a bunch of extra sets of armor. It wasn't like extra of every piece of equipment, but it was enough to make a pretty significant difference. So didn't want to have that advantage. If it'd just been some cosmetic skins in the, cosmetics screen, then yeah, sure, I would have kept that. I think one of them at least would have looked pretty good for lazy, and maybe some of them would have shown up the blue really well. I don't know. I can't remember what all of them looked like, but it added a bunch of extra stuff, and I don't want to actually have a gameplay advantage from what is supposed to be a skins pack. And we have not met anybody yet. And then there is a bunch of lore and explanations on different damage types. And the only damage type that's really super relevant right now, and the game will show these to us as they're relevant, I've left hints on. So yeah, it'll show this to us as it's relevant. And then a bunch of extra lore. If we run into anything where we're trying to look at it like an enemy unit type, or we're trying to figure out more about a faction leader or something, maybe I'll come through and read some of this off. As it stands, it's a lot. So not right now. And now bases. So we start with a research lab and a fabrication plant. Those are going to be very important going forward, and if we happen to find a base that is near a mist outbreak that happens to have one of those, you can bet that it's going to be a priority to get that base back online once we can start getting more bases back online. Satellite uplink will let the base slowly scan for areas of interest up to a certain radius. They don't stack, you can only have one, so getting different bases near mist outbreaks is important. Energy generator to power everything else. You can see down here the power consumption. And yeah, the area scan is what the satellite uplink's doing. It doesn't immediately reveal things. It takes a while after you build the satellite uplink in a base for it to finish scanning, like quite a long while. Living quarters lets soldiers recover stamina when they're resting at the base, whether they're assigned to a vehicle that's at the base or just left at the base. Either way, they recover. Medical bay does the same thing, but for health. So any base where we want soldiers to actually be stationed, or that we intend to have as kind of a resting point, they need to have medical bays and living quarters. If a base is somewhere where I don't intend to have people resting, it's not necessary. And then storage helps us hold on to more stuff. It's shared across all bases, so it doesn't really matter where you build them. And then the vehicle bay and the access lift are kind of necessary for the base to function at all and be able to launch missions. And the vehicle bay obviously will also repair our vehicles. So just good things to have. Now, in terms of things that we could potentially build, now living quarters and med bays do stack. So if you really want soldiers to recover quickly, you can build more than one, but they're expensive. Storage also stacks, but again, it doesn't matter what base you put them in, and we don't need more right now because there's our storage up there, 19 out of 200. It'll take a bit, I think, for us to fill all that up. And training facilities, the only thing that we don't have at least one of yet, and it means that soldiers that are at the base gain 2 experience points per hour. Now, don't get me wrong, that's quite nice. But usually you'll eventually find a base that just has one of those, and then that base just becomes, here's where we send the extra rookies, the B team, the C team, all the way through whatever team. They just hang out here and get experience, and then you have like the main team flying around, and we're eventually probably going to have multiple planes and stuff too. But we'll get to all of that. For now, I'm pretty happy with what we have. I don't think we need to immediately start building. And there's no adjacency bonuses or anything as far as I could tell. Just build things where there's room. And I think that covers everything that we currently need to deal with. So, to the G-Escape. So we start out with a few locations that we can go explore. As we scan, we'll find more, and if we happen to reveal a haven, they might tell us about more locations. So we're just going to go and explore, starting with what's closest. Also, let me double check. Everyone's on the plane, yes? Yes, that's important. Oh, so we immediately found the first Disciples of Anu base. At the Disciples of Anu Haven of Azuparanu? Had to just be a weird one, didn't it? A mutated worm infestation is causing serious problems. The locals had placed their hopes in Taxiarch Nurgle, the Disciples' greatest military hero. You have a military hero named friggin' Nurgle. Okay, I know I think it's spelled a little differently, but great associations there. But Nurgle is said to be fighting a series of pitched battles against the Pandorans and has been unable to help. We could eradicate the infestation ourselves, helping the Haven and creating a good first impression with this faction. Yes, we will help. We're here to help everybody as much as we can. I'm going to be trying to be friendly with everybody. Which I don't know how that's going to go. I've never beaten this game. I've just played a little bit here and there. I think the most I've ever sat down and really played was yesterday when I was testing this stuff. And yeah, the only special thing there about grenades is that the range at which they can be thrown depends on the soldier's strength. And there are also some perks that increase it too. Yeah, let's not have the sniper running up first. That seems like it would be a bad idea. Operatives always kneel to assume low cover, potentially blocking fire. Now, it's not like XCOM where it just reduces their chance to be hit. Each bullet in this game is actually simulated, and if it hits the target, it hits the target. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So the way cover helps is by actually blocking fire, not by just reducing your chance to be hit. And yeah, they can sidestep for free when they need to shoot around it, but it does play havoc with manually shooting. Oh, there's a fair number of them, so maybe don't completely run that way. They'll also pause if they see more enemies, which is nice. So I could try to shoot from further away. It's just not going to be as accurate, but it's also going to be safer. There you go. Enemies will become aware of your presence when they are alerted. They will attempt to track down and attack your squad, but that one is dead now. Shred damage reduces the armor value of the body part it affects by the shred value. Explosive damage will apply shred to multiple body parts, and are one of the main ways to get rid of armor on very heavily armored units. We can go up this far. I don't really want you to go up much further, because those things will explode in a rain of poison if we get too close. And I'm kind of thinking we just move towards this slightly more open area where we have better sight lines if we can. Maybe put the sniper up there. Because I feel like the heavy's going to have problems if I put him up there. I don't think he's going to be able to hit things super well. Heavy weapons, like I said, they can be kind of tricky to use. At least this one that you get initially. The sniper, though, might have some fun up there. Alright, Lazy, up you go. If you can get that far, that might be a little too much movement for you in one go. You actually see them from where you're at? No. You would have to get quite a bit closer. Well, that shot didn't work. Way as much as you can. a ton of trouble trying to shoot through any of this. Low cover tends to hang them up pretty badly. So I'm gonna move you over this way. And I'm actually gonna move you over here, because I have a feeling we're about to have problems in this direction. Okay, if nothing else, I might toss a grenade there, because we don't want them to explode and poison on us if we can help it. However, might also just be close enough to shoot it. Maybe.
Next time, you're mine. That ready to run. Just a warning.
Supposedly 50% of shots are supposed to land in that inner circle, but that's not what I'm getting. Because of course it isn't. Alright, well, if we'd gotten at least one of those... Come on, how far can you actually get a grenade in? Okay, let's try rotating the camera. There we go. Yeah, that did take out the ladder, unfortunately, so no getting up top, but honestly, I don't know how effective that would have been anyway.
Finger on the trigger.
There you go. Alright, you have enough action points left that if you flub it and we really need to chuck a grenade, we can do that. However, yeah, not really enough of a spread to try to get cute and aim at both. I would have to reposition him a bit, which I mean I could. I could maybe put him there. And then, yeah, it's not enough of a spread. They're just not quite close enough together or at quite the right angle, so... Guess I'm going to just go for hitting this one. Geez, the one time that I want the heavy gun to be slightly less accurate. There we go. And again, they're just not quite close enough together. If they were super close, I might have been able to just get away with shooting one down and then getting the other, but it's difficult to line those up with poison worms because they're so dang small. Okay.
I'll be right there.
Get you a little closer so that you're more likely to actually hit.
Was that all?
See the one that's like all the way over there without climbing up on the conveyor belt, but that doesn't help us very much. So that one.
What a kill. I'm on the move.
I'm gonna say back up. the sniper rifle? Still no. Okay. Well, you're just gonna move away then. Please hit them now.
Is that all? Adding one more to the list.
Well, if I get you up to point blank range you can hit, that's a bit of a problem for a sniper.
In my sights. Next time, you're mine.
Okay, we're just gonna go with point blank range on this, or close to it. You know what, screw it. They don't explode when they die. So you could even just use your bash attack twice. Because it only costs 1 AP. Okay, apparently Westfall did a lot because you got twice as much experience as everyone else. Good job.
Normally, when we encounter a potential ally, we first send the Apostle to the Onceborn to check them out. But I'm gonna break protocol to say thanks. Now listen, I'll be honest with you. The Exalted is the only one who has any real answers. Tobias West may be clever and Synedrian may sound great, but only the Exalted is dealing with the world as it actually is. She can lead us out of this mess. Give us lives worth living.
Well, I am very, very wary of the culty vibes that you guys give off. I'd like to know more, because, yeah, just saying that flat out, like, why did I even help them if I'm just going to antagonize them? We'd like to know more.
If you want to work with us, you'll still have to deal with the hierarchy. Work your way up from the Apostle to the Onceborn, to the Keeper of the Threshold, all the way up to the Synod of Yearning and the Exalted herself. That's hard work. You'll have to earn the knowledge you gain. But trust me, it'll be worth it. And if the Synod gives you trouble, let me know.
Oh, they have an aircraft there is what that means. Okay.
So, you are the Phoenix Project, eh? I've heard a lot about you. Who am I? Well, the Maker, of course. I run things around here. Welcome to the marketplace. Here and only here you will find some very special hardware. I design, build, and test every piece of equipment here with my own two hands, you see. I will be honest, they tend to explode every now and again, these toys of mine. They do make some pretty fireballs, though. Both when they work and when they suddenly stop working.
So everything from vehicles to different weapons, and they are going to cost a lot. However, they also have a mission available. The maker mentioned that there's an abandoned scarab that he wants to get his hands on. It's an old model that we have no use for, but obtaining it for him might put us on his good side. Yeah, we can do that. It's not timed or anything. I don't know if we're going to do it right away while we still have stuff we need to be exploring. But also because I have no idea if you're supposed to do this right off the start or not. You'd think, but sometimes you can never be 100% sure that the DLC is going to be super well balanced. So I think I'd rather do some more missions with these guys first.